In the Garden of Beasts: Love, Terror, and an American Family in Hitler's Berlin by Erik Larson.
1933 marked a turning point in Hitler's rise to power. It was also the year that President Franklin D. Roosevelt appointed William E. Dodd as America's first ambassador to Hitler's Germany. After the position was left open for months, mild-mannered Dodd, a history professor, was suggested to Roosevelt as a potential candidate. Dodd embraced Jeffersonian democratic ideals, including his frugal nature with money, feeling most comfortable at his Virginia farm writing his book, The Rise and Fall of the Old South. Refusing to leave his family in Chicago, Dodd hoped to introduce the Germany he remembered from his graduate years to his wife Maddie, son William, and daughter Martha. Martha, a flamboyant socialite, was at first entranced by the parties of the Nazi elite and had many affairs with German officials. One of her affairs was with the first chief of the Gestapo, Rudolf Diels. Jewish persecution continued to increase, including when stormtroopers marched a girl through the streets with a placard around her neck that said, "I offered myself to a Jew," and the attack of the American Kaltenborn family during a stormtrooper parade.
Dodd tried to convince America of the injustices in Berlin. However, the State Department disregarded all of his comments. With the unresponsiveness of the State Department, Dodd became increasingly alarmed by the violent attacks, the censoring of the press, and the new oppressive laws under Hitler's regime. While the situation in Germany became tenser, Martha became involved with the Soviet NKVD Center Intelligence Officer Boris Vinogradov, which led to a long-lasting, secretive relationship and eventually influenced Martha's decision to spy for the Soviets against the Nazis. Ernst Röhm, the co-founder of the SA, a Nazi army, posed a threat to Hitler's power, which led to a peak of violence in order to cleanse the Nazi regime from unfaithful German officials. The violence helped bring to the surface Hitler's true character and helped solidify Dodd and Martha's disillusionment of Nazi Germany.
In the Garden of Beasts opens a debate about why no Americans or Europeans did anything to stop Hitler. Did they not realize the threat Hitler posed, or did they simply choose not to recognize it? Other Americans judged Dodd's career based on what side of the Atlantic they were located. While the United States believed he was ineffective and complained too much, Americans in Germany praised his dedication to standing up for American ideals. With no assistance to help him research the background of 1930s Germany, Larson enjoyed reading about the information and personally educating himself. Larson's style focuses on the lives of two specific main characters, Dodd and Martha, which juxtaposes the tense political atmosphere of Dodd's world with Martha's youthful, free-spirited endeavors. However, each character's growing disillusionment with the Nazi regime parallels the other and makes his style effective. Larson utilizes a didactic tone in order to educate while also creating suspenseful moments up until the SA Nazi purge. His omnipresent point of view also reinforces the world's ignorance of Hitler's threatening rise of power. His suspenseful tone mimics the rising tension in Hitler's Germany, reaching a climax during the Great Purge, which marked a major shift in Hitler's action.
Overall, Larson's purpose is to inform the public about the American indifference about Hitler's rise in power and mistreatment of the Jewish population in Germany, serving as a form of ignorance not to be repeated. Erik Larson graduated top of his class from the University of Pennsylvania. He is a former writer for the Wall Street Journal and Time magazine. He has also written for a variety of national magazines and currently lives in Seattle, Washington, with his wife and 3 daughters. He is a renowned narrative nonfiction author and has written multiple bestsellers, including The Devil in the White City, Thunderstruck, and Isaac Storm.
Presentation by Emily Templin,
Claire Walter,
Ashley Zinn,
And Samira Mortazavi.